No one had touched the old maps in centuries. Deep inside a research station on the quiet planet Veros, a group of alien scientists stared at something strange. A blue planet, once marked as unreachable, now blinked on their screen. "This world is active again," one scientist whispered. The others laughed. "That planet? It's a myth, just stories from old war logs." But the readings were real. Energy waves, strong magnetic fields, signs of technology. The planet had a name in the ancient tongue: Earth. For a long time, Earth had been marked forbidden. Even the records were sealed. The galaxy forgot about it. Until now. Out of curiosity and pride, they decided to open a portal. They built a gate in the middle of the station, powered it with dark crystals, and aimed it toward the blue planet. As the portal lit up, alarms began to flicker. Something was trying to come through, but the systems couldn't identify it. "It's probably just energy noise," someone said. "Let's stabilize it." The scientists activated the final sequence. The portal opened like a giant mirror. For 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then, something moved inside the light. A shadow stepped forward. It was tall. 2 legs, 2 arms. No armor, no weapons, just standing there. The air turned cold. The lights in the room flickered. One scientist took a step back. Another one laughed nervously. "Is that a human?" Nobody answered. The being slowly turned its head and looked at them. No emotion, no fear. Then it walked forward. Sirens screamed. Power shut down. Every screen went black. One scientist reached for the emergency controls but fell, frozen in place. His body wouldn't move. His mind was screaming, but his limbs were paralyzed. The others tried to speak, tried to run, but the being just stood there, watching. Then, it disappeared. Hours passed. Emergency teams were sent in, but they found nothing. No damage, no sign of entry. The portal room was empty, except for one thing. On the wall, scratched deep into metal, were 3 words: "Close the portal." The team leader, a commander with years of experience, frowned. Was this some kind of joke? But then something worse happened. All nearby communication towers lost contact. Stations on 3 other planets gone silent. Security footage showed a figure walking calmly through each facility. Same height, same look, same human. But how? How did he reach all those places? The scientists checked the portal logs. Only one being had crossed over. Just one. The Galactic Council was alerted. Panic spread fast. Some believed it was a weapon. Others said it was a ghost. Some even believed Earth had sent a warning. One thing was certain. This human wasn't like anything they knew. Humans were supposed to be extinct, or lost forever. But if one had returned, how many more were coming? Back at the research station, the portal remained open. Strange energy leaked from it now. The walls cracked without reason. Machines broke down without being touched. One engineer whispered, "It's not just a door, it's awake." Then, without warning, the air turned heavy again. The portal shimmered. Footsteps echoed. Everyone froze. Another figure stepped through. This one looked different, smaller, maybe younger. But the same silence, the same cold eyes, and behind them, more shadows moved. The lead scientist fell to his knees. "What have we done?" he whispered. No one answered, because the Deathworlders were back. The command ship hovered above the silent station like a metal mountain. Inside, soldiers waited, trained, armed, ready for anything, except what they were about to face. The transmission from the station had stopped, not scrambled, not blocked, just erased, as if it never existed. The only message left behind was burned into steel. "Close the portal." The commander stepped into the landing bay. His voice was calm, but the tension in the air was sharp. "No signs of life?" "None, sir. All 50 staff vanished. No damage, just silence. They entered the facility slowly, guns raised. Every light flickered like it was afraid. No blood, no battle. Just overturned chairs, dropped tools, cold meals uneaten. And then, they saw the footage. CCTV showed the first human entering. Alone, silent. But what was strange was how the cameras glitched every time the human moved. 1 second he was standing, the next already 10 meters ahead, like time itself bent around him. The commander paused the feed. That's not possible. But it happened again. And again. The man didn't fight, he didn't speak, he just walked, and every weapon that pointed at him melted. One drone had fired, just once. The footage showed the human stopping mid-step. Then looking directly into the camera, the screen cracked. From the inside, "Sir," an officer said, voice shaking, "what are we looking at?" The commander didn't reply. Because, just then, the air changed. It felt like something ancient had stepped into the room. They turned, and there he was, the same human, standing behind them. No sound, no footsteps, just there. His eyes didn't glow. His skin wasn't metal. But somehow, every soldier felt it. They were nothing. Weapons raised. Orders screamed. The human didn't move. He just spoke one sentence. "You should have left us buried." The lights exploded. The ground shook. And then, silence. When the soldiers awoke, they were outside the station. All of them. Alive. But their guns were missing. Their memory was broken. Time was missing. And the station? Gone. Only a crater remained, as if it had never been there. Back on the command ship, the crew discovered something worse. 3 more portals had opened, not by them, by something else. The humans were stepping through, slowly, quietly, one by one. Not in ships, not in armies, just walking. And every time they did, machines stopped working. Ships lost control. Satellites fell from the sky. But no one died. Not yet. A secret message was found deep inside one of the mainframe cores of the destroyed station. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't even words. It was coordinates to a forgotten part of space. And one short phrase. This was the first door. The council panicked. They sent diplomats, peace envoys, gifts, but every ship sent was lost, not destroyed, just missing, as if they had stepped into a dream that refused to end. At the edge of the galaxy, a listening post picked up a strange signal. Ancient, human. It repeated only one word. Observe. Then an image appeared, not of war, not of weapons, but of a human child, standing in front of a galaxy map, and one by one, every star on the map turned red. The signal ended, the screen went black, and in the darkness, 4 words burned into the commander's mind. This is only beginning. The council chamber was silent, not even the sound of breathing, because the message had arrived, and it wasn't from Earth. It was from the vault, a sealed archive buried in the deepest part of the galaxy, locked by ancient species, guarded by silence. For 10,000 years until now, the vault unlocked itself. No one had the code. No one even remembered it existed. But it opened, and inside it was one file. No name, no author, just a title. Earth, Deathworld, Class 0. The Council's oldest historian trembled. 0? That's impossible. There is no Class 0. But the file didn't care what they believed. It played. The screen showed Earth, not a paradise, a nightmare. Storms larger than cities. Volcanoes that bled fire. Animals with venom that melted bone. Microbes that rewrote DNA. Creatures that hunted, for sport. And one species, humans, who survived it all, not by hiding, but by adapting, evolving, fighting. They lived in fire, in snow, in darkness, in poison. They tamed the storms. They ate what others feared. They built tools out of nothing. And when nature hit them with death, they hit back harder. One historian whispered, "They weren't born on a death world. They became one." The file continued. Wars. Billions dead, then peace, then more wars, then space. But the more they spread, the quieter they became. Until one day, Earth just disappeared. No wreckage, no distress call, just gone. Like the universe itself, feared what they might become. A younger council member asked why did we forget them? The old ones didn't answer, because they hadn't forgotten. They had erased Earth, on purpose. A long time ago, before the new species rose, the galaxy united to remove every trace of humanity. They had tried to wipe out the Deathworlders. And now, they were back. Somewhere far from the council chamber, a small colony sent out a signal. A human had been spotted, not fighting, not speaking, just walking through their city, looking up at the stars. He carried no weapon, wore no armor, but machines. Died when he passed. Cameras couldn't film him. Audio couldn't catch his voice. But everyone remembered one thing. He smiled. The next day, every starship engine in that system failed. Panic spread. Galactic news warned of unknown beings. Military leaders called for war, but scientists warned, "We already lost that war." A long time ago. One scientist showed an ancient simulation, one made during the last Earth conflict. It ran millions of possible outcomes. In every timeline, humanity won, even when they were outnumbered, even when they had no weapons. One leader shouted, "That's not science, that's fear." But the simulation ended with one line of text. The Deathworlders adapt faster than reality can contain them. Back at the portal site, something changed. The sky cracked. Not thunder, not weather. Reality itself split. From the crack, a shape emerged, not a ship, a structure. Black, smooth, endless. It made no sound, had no engine. It just hovered, half inside this universe, half outside, and on its surface a message appeared in glowing light. This is not revenge, this is a response. In that moment, every major species realized the same thing. Humanity hadn't returned for power. They had returned because something worse was coming. Something only they had fought before and lost. But now they weren't just survivors of a death world. Now they were its masters, and they had brought the storm with them. They sent 9,000 ships, battle cruisers, fighters, planet burners, the largest fleet ever created. The galaxy was afraid, but the generals said, "We are ready." The mission was clear. Go through the portal. Find the humans. Stop them. They called it a containment operation, but it was war. The fleet crossed the portal with engines roaring, lights bright, weapons loaded. For 1 hour, there was silence. Then, a single message came back, a voice calm, human. "You brought ships, we brought purpose." Then, static. Every screen went white, and then, black. No damage reported. No explosion. But 7,000 ships were just gone. Gone. Not destroyed. Erased. The remaining 2,000 ships floated in silence. No enemy in sight, just stars. And then they appeared, human ships, but not made of metal, not made of anything known. They didn't reflect light. They didn't show heat. They didn't move. They shifted through space, like thoughts made real. No weapons were visible, yet one by one, alien ships began to fall. No blast, no beam, just shutdown, engines cold, gravity reversed, time slowed. One commander screamed, "They're rewriting physics," and then the screens flickered. Not with data, with memories. Every captain saw something different. One saw his childhood home burning. Another saw his daughter crying on a world long dead. A third saw himself, older, kneeling before a human child. They weren't being attacked. They were being understood. and it broke them. One admiral tried to escape. He turned his ship around, opened the jump gate and fled, or so he thought. His ship arrived back where it started. Again, and again. Every time he jumped, he returned to the same spot. A perfect loop. On the fifth jump, a human voice echoed through his ship's speakers. "You tried to run before, you always end up here," he screamed. The ship vanished. Back in council space, silence spread like fire. The fleet was gone. There was no battle, no wreckage. Just nothing. All systems linked. The war effort began to fail. Artificial minds refused to speak. Weapons misfired. Translation AIs spoke only one word: observe. The council gathered again, furious, afraid. "This is psychological warfare," one leader shouted. "No," the oldest among them said. "This is evolution." In a quiet system, a lone human walked into a city. No armor, no gun. The guards aimed. They pulled triggers. Nothing happened. Their weapons melted in their hands. The human walked up to a data tower, touched it once. The tower glowed, then hummed, then played a sound. Heartbeat. Every screen flashed red. One phrase repeated across the planet. "You still think this is about you?" That night, the stars above shifted. Constellations changed. Galactic maps became useless. Planets disappeared from tracking logs, and something terrifying became clear. The galaxy wasn't just losing the fight, it was losing its place in reality. Some said the humans were using technology. Others whispered the truth. Earth had never used machines to win. They changed the battlefield. They changed the rules. And now, they were changing the galaxy. And above the council world, just outside visible space, a massive human vessel appeared. Black, silent, impossible, but on its surface was a glowing mark. Not a weapon, not a threat, just one word: begin. It came, without warning, not through satellites, not through comms, but through dreams. All across the galaxy, millions of beings, leaders, scientists, children, woke at the same time. Same image in their minds: a planet covered in storm clouds, a heartbeat, louder than thunder, and a whisper that felt too real. We were never gone. The council panicked. They sent their last code breakers to dig into ancient archives. One of them, a quiet analyst, found something strange: a forgotten transmission buried in deep space junk, marked as Noise Alpha 0. It was over 10,000 years old. But it began playing by itself. The room went cold. The voice was human, old, calm, but broken. "To whoever hears this, we didn't disappear. We sealed ourselves away. Because we saw what was coming. And we weren't ready to stop it. But if this signal is playing and it means we're awake, it means the timeline broke again, and this time we don't run." The final part wasn't audio. It was a map, but not of space. Of time. The map showed events, wars, peace, inventions that hadn't happened yet. Dates centuries ahead. And next to each future event, a symbol. The Earth sigil. The analyst froze. "They're not predicting the future," she whispered. "They're causing it." Somewhere deep in council territory, a planet went dark. No attacks, no warning, just silence. Rescue teams arrived. What they found made no sense. The entire planet had changed. Mountains had moved. Rivers flowed in reverse. Buildings were bent into spirals. Still standing, but not possible. And in the center of the city, written in glass: "We tried to warn you." On a distant moon, a group of alien children found something buried under the sand. It looked like a toy, but when touched, it unfolded into a floating cube, projecting images of Earth, jungles, oceans, cities, fire. One image showed a human holding the hand of something that wasn't human. The cube spoke. The child was spared. So the stars must be too. Then it crumbled into dust. At the Galactic AI core, a superintelligence built to protect truth, systems began to fail. It screamed in binary. They are not singular. They are fractured. They are plural. Earth is not. One world. Earth is a bridge. The AI shut down, permanently. Back at the council, leaders gathered in secret. What does this mean? One asked. It means they didn't just survive, another replied. They evolved beyond us. Someone whispered, or maybe beyond reality. A third voice, trembling, said, no, they're pulling reality with them. Suddenly, in the sky above the council chamber, every star disappeared, not dimmed, erased. For 1 full minute, the galaxy went dark. No light, no sound. Only one message appeared in every system, on every screen, in every mind. The countdown has begun. And then, the stars returned. But in new shapes, new patterns. Constellations were different. Galaxies had shifted. Physics was off by a fraction. It wasn't much, but it was enough. The humans weren't just changing the galaxy. They were rewriting. One species called it madness, another called it war, but the humans, they called it homecoming. It started with a whisper, not in sound, in gravity. Planets began to drift. Moons spun the wrong way. Light from stars took longer to arrive. The galaxy held its breath. Then, the cracks appeared, not in space, not in time, in reality itself. Across several systems, the air rippled like water, and inside those ripples something looked back, something old, something that hated stars. One scout ship tried to scan the ripple. Its crew saw nothing at first. Then the pilot blinked, and the universe changed. He saw a sky full of eyes. He saw time dripping like blood. He saw Earth screaming. He screamed too. When the ship returned, it was empty. Only the pilot's last words remained, burned into the glass. We locked it away, but now the lock is broken, and it remembers us. The council demanded answers. Only the humans gave one. A message appeared on every secure channel. No video, no voice, only a single image of a dark cage, floating in a storm of stars. And a phrase, "We were the wall. You broke it." The truth was unbearable. Long ago, before the council existed, humanity didn't fight to rule the stars. They fought to hide something, a force not made of matter or thought, something older than laws and larger than death. The galaxy thought Earth vanished, but Earth had sealed itself to keep the enemy in, and now the seal was cracking. Near the edge of space, a research team found a piece of strange metal, older than galaxies. It pulsed, then opened. Inside, it was not a weapon, but a warning, written in every language at once. You are not ready for what we buried. Then every being on the ship stopped breathing. Not dead, frozen. As if time had been paused, just for them, and from the silence, a new shape emerged. Not human, not alien. A shadow wearing stars like armor. The humans responded. They didn't send warships. They sent a message across the galaxy, the same message played in every mind. We did not come back for power. We came back because you opened the gate, and now it walks again. If you want to live, follow us, or stand alone, and be erased. One alien race, known for pride, refused to listen. Their fleet vanished in less than a second, not destroyed, not lost unwritten, as if they were never real. No memories, no graves, no record. Their planets were still there, empty and quiet, like a dream fading after waking. Meanwhile, near the galactic core, a giant structure appeared. Not built, grown. It pulsed with something worse than hatred, a mind, an ancient mind. The thing humans had buried, and on its surface were a billion names, not names of people, names of galaxies, all of them, crossed out. In one hidden base, a human stood in front of a council ambassador. His face was calm. He held a small glowing stone. Inside it, a flicker of something alive. "This is one piece of it," he said. The ambassador trembled. "Why show me this?" The human's voice turned cold. "Because the rest is awake. Above them, in a sky now twisting with red clouds and backwards lightning, the stars bent in fear. The thing humanity once locked away wasn't a creature. It was the hunger at the end of time. It had no name, only a desire to end everything that remembers. And Earth? Earth didn't come to conquer the galaxy. Earth came to stop its final breath. And the Deathworlders? They weren't just warriors. They were the last firewall between creation and oblivion. The stars were screaming. No one heard sound, but everyone felt it. Worlds cried out, machines dreamed. Children drew pictures of monsters they'd never seen before. And all across the galaxy, one word kept repeating in every mind. It's coming. The sky cracked open. From beyond the edge of space, the enemy stepped through. It had no body. No voice, no name, just absence. Where it moved, gravity died. Color drained, memories faded. Entire systems vanished, not exploded, just forgotten. Planets turned cold. Suns stopped burning. The enemy wasn't killing, it was deleting. Reality itself was being rewritten. And then, the humans returned. But this time, they did not arrive alone. They came with fleets from every corner of the galaxy. Ships once enemies, now side by side. Species that hated each other, followed the Deathworlders. Not out of loyalty, out of hope. Because the galaxy finally understood. The Deathworlders were not a threat. They were a warning and a shield. At the edge of a dying star system, the battle began. The enemy moved like smoke through space, touching ships and unraveling them into dust. But the human ships did not fall because they were not built to win. They were built to end. Their weapons weren't metal. They were thought, light, and pain. Each one designed to remind the universe it exists. They didn't fire lasers. They fired reality back into place. A single Deathworlder stepped onto the burning surface of a moon being eaten by the void. He dropped a stone. The stone lit up and the void screamed. The sound bent stars and pushed back the darkness. And for the first time, the enemy felt fear. Because it remembered. It remembered Earth. It remembered the wall it couldn't pass, and it saw the wall had returned. But this time, it had allies. The humans didn't speak during the battle. They acted. They moved faster than light, slower than time, sideways through dimensions. One soldier walked into the enemy's heart and lit a candle. Another wrote a song into a dying planet. And that planet woke up and sang until the dark retreated. A child on a distant world looked into the night sky and whispered, "Don't let us go." And somewhere, a human heard it and smiled. The enemy fought back, harder than before. It split into 1,000 shapes, took the forms of lost loved ones, whispered lies, but humanity had seen worse. They had survived their own world. Fire, flood, ice, hunger, war. Nothing this enemy could do was worse than Earth itself. That's why they were called Deathworlders. They didn't fear death. They were born in it. In the final moment, the oldest human ship, the one that hadn't fired once, opened. Not with weapons, but with truth. Inside was a sphere of memory. Every pain, every loss, every scream Earth had ever known, but also every hope, every song, every act of love. It unleashed that into the void, and the void broke. Because the enemy didn't understand love. It didn't understand defiance. It didn't understand life, and that was its weakness. The stars lit up again. The cracks healed, the cold faded, and the galaxy breathed. For the first time in forever, it was quiet, not empty, peaceful. The Deathworlders didn't ask for thanks. They didn't stay. One by one they returned through the fading portals, and just before the last one stepped through, a small alien child ran to him. "Will you come back?" she asked. The human knelt, touched her shoulder gently and said, "Only if you need us. But next time, be ready." He vanished. The portal closed, and the stars stood still. The legend of Earth became law. The Deathworlders were gone, but their shadow protected the galaxy forever.